Hi, I'm Jonathan Schwartzman, and this is my 6th grade Science Going Green project. I've selected to complete a green building project because I believe we have to do a better job at taking care of our planet. Going green with new home techniques is a great way to start. I've researched green buildings, which are also referred to as green architecture, green construction, or sustainable buildings. Sustainable refers to something that can be incorporated into a building with the least amount of harm to the environment, as well as something that can last for generations. For example, if we cut down an oak tree to make kitchen cabinets, we can only use that oak tree once. When you cut it down, it's gone. However, if we use bamboo wood to build cabinets, then we can save a planet because bamboo is considered sustainable because when you cut down bamboo, it grows back. This can be done over and over again. As green building techniques developed, so did the United States Building Council. The agency studies green building projects, construction methods, and rating systems to promote green design and construction. From the Green Building Council, LEED design evolved. LEED stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. LEED buildings incorporate a prescribed checklist of criteria items in various categories to score points. Like any subject in school, the higher number of points, the higher the grade. LEED buildings are rated as bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, kind of like an Olympic medal system for buildings. 5 key areas are evaluated in green buildings: energy efficiency, indoor environmental quality, material selection, sustainable site development, and water savings. Green buildings should be very important to kids like me. Just like recycling Coke cans and bottles to make new ones, we have to do more to protect our environment. Here's the problem. According to the United States Census Bureau, there are 309 million people in this country and 6.8 billion people around the world. By 2020, the U.S. population is expected to grow to 325 million people, and it is expected to exceed to 375 million people by 2040. According to the U.S. Green Building Council, buildings in the U.S. consume 40% of our energy consumption versus transportation, cars, trains, and planes that consume 27%, and industries that consume 33%. Thus, buildings create almost 40% of the CO2 or carbon emissions that are released into our atmosphere. That's right, the buildings in which we live, shop, work, and play are killing our atmosphere every day. Simply put, if we can reduce the amount of energy it takes to construct buildings and live in buildings, we can help save our planet. For the purposes of completing this science research project, I've evaluated green building techniques as it relates to homes. What makes a home green? One subject is energy efficiency. Some ways you can save energy are using Energy Star appliances, like refrigerators that use less electricity. Also, CFC bulbs. They're fluorescent bulbs, the curly ones. Also, a smart power strip. It cuts off power totally, where electrical consuming things like TVs, computers, and things like that are not in use. Also, solar panels. They use the power of the sun to generate electricity, heat homes, make hot water, and even can cool a home. Also, there's geothermal energy. While solar energy uses the sun, geothermal energy uses the heat from the earth to create heat and cool the house. Also, another subject is water conservation. Some things in water conservation are low flush and dual flush toilets. What those are toilets that use less water when they flush, and depending on what you do, there are different amounts of water that go into the toilet. Also, a clothesline. It's pretty simple. Clothes washers use tons of water when clotheslines use no water at all. Also using rain barrels to catch rain rainwater from building roofs to use for watering the lawn and gardens, instead of using water, which will save water. Also using native plants that are found in the area because they are more water tolerant and require less watering than plants that are native to another environment. Another category is using less natural resources. This involves reusing brick. Use old bricks from a demolished home to build a new house. Also, you can use local products. Instead of having to ship items across the country or state, just buy the product from a local shop. When products are shipped, energy is burned and releases carbon into the air. Also, you can use recycled products, like using plastic bags to make fake wood decking material. The last category is create less waste. Use recycled products as well, and use things as many times as you can. One example of a green building found in Maryland is the Philip Merrill Chesapeake Bay Environmental Center, located in Annapolis, Maryland. There are a lot of things that make this place green. Here are some examples. They have geothermal wells. It uses the earth to help heat and cool the building. They also have natural ventilation. Large, operable windows allow breezes to cool the building. They also use less electricity. They use energy-saving appliances and other products to save electricity and use less of it. They also have solar panels. They use the sun for electricity and hot water. Also, they use natural light. They are large windows that allow a lot of natural daylight into the building. Also, they use rainwater to wash hands and water plants. They also use composting toilets. They're toilets that don't even use water to flush them. They also have recycled and renewable materials to build their building. They also use less chemical vapors by using plants and carpet materials that are more healthy for humans. Also, they have spray foam insulation. What they did was they were using expandable foam insulation in the walls and ceiling to help create a tighter building skin and better maintain indoor temperatures. The best way to go green is to incorporate passive and active solar solutions. What's passive solar? Passive solar is the use of the sun in a building for heat and light. For example, when sunlight gets through the windows into the building, it's passive solar. This is called low-tech solar. What's active solar? Active solar is using the sun to create hot water or electricity. This is called high-tech solar. To get high-tech solar, you need solar panels. Solar panels are panels that are installed onto a roof. The solar panels use the sun to give high-tech solar power into a home. You might be wondering how solar panels work to create electricity. Here's how. First, the sun hits the panels and the direct current, or the DC, of the sun's energy goes into an inverter. The inverter, which is a little box, converts the DC of the sun into an alternating current, or AC. The alternating current can be used for electricity, heat, power things, etc. Once the house is full of the AC, the extra AC, or energy, goes to the electrical company. For this, you get credits. So when the sun isn't out at night, you will get the AC or energy for free because you gave them some energy, and when you want or need that energy, you can get it back for free. This process of giving and getting energy to or from the electrical company is called net metering. To sum it up, solar panels save money and the environment. I've incorporated many of these techniques, these building techniques and going green techniques in my building. One way that it's green is that the building is oriented diagonally. It's oriented in the southwest direction. On my model, this way is north, this is south, this is east, and this is west. So the building is oriented southwest because when it's oriented southwest, it gets the most sun exposure, which is key for passive solar. Also, I use native plants like these. Native plants are key because when you take plants from another environment, they have to adapt to a new environment. But native plants, you need less water, which saves water, of course. Also, there are evergreen trees here. These are trees that have their leaves on all year. These are important because the winter winds come in this direction. And in winter, it's cold out already. So the evergreen trees block the winter winds from going into the house, making the house cooler than having to use heat, and that uses carbon footprint. Another way is operable windows, which enable circulation, which are these on the east and west sides of the house. What they do is they allow breezes, summer and winter breezes, to go through the house to cool it so you don't have to use your AC as much and use power. Another way is a rain barrel, which is here. A rain barrel collects water from a gutter and goes down and collects water so that you can then use that water to water your plants and trees and things like that, so you don't have to use the water, which saves water, of course. Also, there are shade devices, which are these on the top. Which are these. These shade devices are helpful because in the summer, the sun is higher. And in the summer, it's already hot outside. So what these things do is they block the heat from going into the house, which makes it hotter, so you don't have to use your AC. But these things also let the light in, but not the heat. Also, there are large southern windows. You see on the north side, the windows are smaller, and on the southern side, the windows are bigger. This is because the southern windows, because the sun at this point is mostly, you get the maximum sun exposure here on the south side. So when the sun is here, you get maximum light exposure into these windows, so you get passive solar. But on the north, it's not there as much, so you don't get as much light, which you don't need bigger windows for. Also on this side are deciduous trees, these. They differ from the evergreens which are these, because the deciduous trees, their leaves shed in the winter and come back in the summer. This is helpful because in the winter, the sun is here and you want the light to come in and warm the house because it's cold in the winter. But in the summer, other than these shades, the leaves of the trees block the heat from getting into the house because it's already hot in the summer. Another way is the solar panels. There are two sets of solar panels. This set, the bigger set, is called photovoltaic solar panels. What these do is they use the power of the sun, as I've explained, to create electricity, or AC, to use electricity and power things. But the smaller ones are used to collect hot water. What they do is they make the water hot instead of having to use gases and energy to heat the water. The sun does that, which also saves energy and gas, which reduces the carbon footprint. So this is my model and report, and I've hoped from this that you've learned about green buildings and how green buildings are important to our environment today, and how their population also affects everything, and that we need to be green. Thank you.